And opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This is your host, Kentony Campbell Moss, and you're listening to the wonderful sounds of the rhythm band, All the Flowers. This afternoon, we're talking about all things Bahamian, and we have the master mixologist, Mr. Marv Cunningham. When I say, welcome to the islands of the Bahamas, I'm speaking purely about hospitality. I'm talking about tourism at its absolute finest. This gentleman has been premiered in Chilled, Raise Your Spirits magazines. He has brought competition to an all-new level, bringing the Bahamian taste, mixing it with flavors and scents, and just an artistry of mixology. We welcome Mr. Marv Cunningham here to our studio today. It's going to be a very riveting show. As you all know, I'm a tourism professional, a culturist at heart. We're going to have sounds from the silver slipper, the yellow bird. We're going to talk about how the young men used to jump over the wharf when the Bahamas Star used to dock, and how they would jump over for quarters and 25-cent pieces, 5 cents, shillings, and quarters. It is going to be an interesting show. I bring to you Mr. Marv, master mixologist Cunningham. Marv, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kennedy. How are you? It's definitely a pleasure to be here with you today. Very happy that I get to sit down with you and discuss hospitality.
Marv, you know, whenever you are in the area, it's always a question of what is Marv bringing to drink? What is Marv going to wow us with? And when I put the flyer out yesterday at about 7:30, thank you to Ivar for making sure that that was actually done for me, because he handles all of my printing and all of my needs for my content. Mm-hmm. When that went out, everyone was like, Kenny, Marv coming to the show? Ask Marv what he making. You know, Marv makes something with hot sauce and people drank that. I was like, for true? Now, you know, I'm not a drinker, Marv, but I know you make mocktails. Yeah. Now, that's for the non-drinkers, yes, right? Okay, right. And you always make it very sexy. Mm-hmm. But Marv, How did you start out with deciding that you wanted to be a mixologist? Like, was it by accident? Is this something, I know that you're a professional, that you're trained for these types of things, but how did it actually happen? Like, walk me through that process.
Well, I'll tell you, it's everyone's dream to go off to school, to further their education. And I wanted to be a graphic artist, and I had I was working at an offshore bank, and I was in the financial sector. And, the money, wasn't coming in as fast as I wanted it to. So I applied to work at a nightclub. Thank you. I applied to work at a nightclub to bring in some extra cash. And it wasn't until I served my, no experience, I was a bar back for about 3 months. My boss saw my work ethic, and he was like, something, you have potential. I think this is something that you can grow. This is an industry that you can grow in. So I'm going to give you a chance to be a bartender. And it wasn't until I made my very first cocktail and saw the response from the guests, I was like, I'm really feeling this. I'm digging this. This is something that I was very intrigued by it, by the customer's response. So I was like, let me dabble into this a little bit, and it started from there.
So Marv, you wanted to bring in extra money, and now you're at a point where you're bringing in buku dollars, because anytime I see a festival, anytime I see you, Marv, you in Walmart. I mean, Marv, do you know what it is for, there are always Bahamians in Walmart, because I like to go like 2 o'clock in the morning and walk around with the trolley and get my fries, and dip them in the barbecue sauce. But Marv, like, you're not just in Walmart, you are literally in Walmart. You are a brand. Like, how do you go from, I just wanted to make some extra cash, to being in premier bars all over the world, to being Marv, a brand in Walmart, in Publix food store? Help me understand that. What does that feel like for you?
Well, I'll tell you what. It's just another day at work, to be honest. When you really love what you do, you don't count it as work. It's just being able to, put formulas together and show the world what I have to offer. That's what it was for me.
Marv, I got a text. I mean, the lines are not open. I didn't give out the text lines yet. This woman messaged me, and it's a woman, and I know the woman, right? She said to me, "Get your ball head right. Marv is an executive master mixologist, 2nd-time Hall of Fame, and 2-time Bartender of the Year for the entire Caribbean. 2-time gold medalist, Caribbean Journal Bartender of the Year." Charlotte, I got it. Thank you. You didn't have to put the ball head part in, Charlotte, okay? I get it. I thank you very much. You have fans, Marv. Win on the radio 10 minutes. Charlotte is a tourism person, so she knows exactly what she's speaking of. Thank you, Miss Charlotte. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Appreciate you.
So Marv, now tell me something. You have been in many competitions. Recently, there's been an article on you having won for this Caribbean function. Now, I asked you when we were not on air, Marv, was this intentional? Because I thought that this was a stage photo after the actual competition. But you're saying, no, this was all very intentional. Tell me about this.
Okay, so the Angostura Global Cocktail Challenge, that happened in 2020. So a part of the competition was, you have, in order to, really dominate a international or global competition, you really have to read into the rules, right?
Right.
And, everyone, look at Francano,
The pants.
The pants.
I love those pants.
Look at those pants that
I like
Francano wears,
those.
right? So, a lot of people would, tease me, like, hey, listen, when you can come up with this Francano line now, because most of the competitions that I go to, I like to dress very tropical.
Okay.
So this jacket was very intentional. The theme of this competition was also tiki.
Oh.
And tiki is not tropical, but tiki is in a category of its own.
Okay.
But there are some similarities, in the tiki and tropical cultures.
Okay.
So yeah, that was very intentional. And I think it was, when you go downtown, you go in the strong market, you look at taxi drivers, you look at, even some of the uniforms that people wear, at restaurants and bars. It's almost similar. So I was like, why not go looking very professional with the island print?
Marv, you had them down pat because nobody else was wearing this.
No.
You went out the gate, like we say in Junkanoo, from you line up, you win.
Right, yes. Something? And the thing is, I had that. That was, I had that confidence. It's really good to represent your country.
Right.
I'd be very honest. It's very good representing the Bahamas, and I've done it well.
Now, Marv, when I was at the Ministry of Tourism and Aviation, I do recall that there were many times that you had represented us in terms of culinary and beverages. When you went to those world stages and you had to present, and the numerous amount of times that you would have won, what was going through your mind in terms of bringing a different taste and a different essence of what the Bahamas had to offer?
Well, anyone can tell you when they talk to me. I always tell them, listen, I think the Bahamas is the greatest little country in the world.
Of course.
And we are known for our flavors.
Of course.
The guavas, the juju. By the way, I brought you a juju and basil mocktail.
I will have that.
Yes.
I will go to swimming. That's a mocktail, so that's no rum, right?
No rum at all.
Right. Okay. Well, I don't drink, Marv, but I'll have that at swimming when I go to pick up my child today.
Covered. So, it's bringing like soursop, it's bringing these flavors, to the forefront and then showing everyone around the world what we have to offer.
Right.
And it's an experience, it's a tasting experience. Some of these persons around the world, they're wowed by the taste and the texture of soursop. What is it really, and you can use soursop in multiple ways, ice cream, cocktails, you ever had a soursop baggie?
I have.
Yeah.
But do you know something? I didn't grow up with baggie and cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my daughter had a function at school, and they said it was Bahamian Day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said to myself, what in the hell is a baggie? Because I didn't know what the baggie was. But the baggie is actually like liquid in a plastic bag that you tie and you put in the freezer.
Mm.
And I said, why would somebody want to suck a baggie? Like, this thing is in the freezer.
You grew up in Abergawi.
No, Mom, but I just didn't have that. I didn't have that experience. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was outside riding my bike and skating and things like that, but I never had a baggie.
Mm-hmm.
It was so different for me. But I have had soursop ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not my favorite, but I have had it.
But think about soursop. Think about a soursop float.
Ooh.
Like how they have root beer floats?
Nice and icy.
No. So a root beer float is just the vanilla ice cream with root beer.
Okay.
So what I did, one of my award-winning drinks was a soursop float where I made a soursop ice cream. I made a homemade ginger and lemongrass soda. Yeah.
So, Marv, how do you manage to figure out what taste go with what? How do you know?
Well, for me, it's almost like an epiphany. I think it's a gift.
Okay.
Because there are sometimes I'd be sitting down and I'd be brainstorming, and it's almost like a chef. I'm a foodie, so I like to eat, I like to cook. So I know flavor profiles, I know flavor pairings. It's it comes almost naturally. So that is the template that I use for for cocktails.
Okay. So now, Marv, you're back at the hotel. What is your night like? Do people come to the bar and they say, Marv, I want you to give me a Bahamian experience in a glass? What happens?
Well, the outlet that I am at.
The outlet.
The outlet that I'm at in the hotel. Currently, they don't offer.
Beverages?
No. How should I say this? They don't offer indigenous ingredients. It's not something a part of their.
So you have to make whatever you have there.
Yes.
So I come to you, and then there are non-indigenous flavors there, and I'm a non-drinker. What do you make for me?
I'll definitely make you. I'll make you a pineapple fizz. That's like fresh pineapples, simple syrup, a little bit of Angostura bitters, orange bitters, tonic, and a little bit of club soda. That's like, I would definitely give that to you.
So Marv, this ambassadorship, this global cocktail challenge, this takes you all over the world.
Yes, it does.
And this all started from something that you just said, I just wanted to make a little bit of extra money off of.
Yes, it did start out that way, but from I started in '98 up to about 2010, and let me just put this out there. Yes, like Charlotte said, I am an executive mixologist, right? But at the end of the day, I'm still a bartender, and I love being a bartender.
What is the difference, Marv?
The difference is being able to. Okay, so bartenders would go in, bartenders are really more to conversate, getting to know the customer, giving really good service. I'm not saying that a mixologist doesn't do that, but the mixologist concentrates on the cocktail. All the attention is given to the cocktail, paying attention to detail. So it's all in the methodology. Is all about the technique in creating this cocktail and serving the cocktail. So, it's not that,
We have somebody that's listening from Florida. She says, thank you so much for your entertainment this afternoon. I've had the experience of tasting one of your mixologist drinks when I would come and frequent Atlantis. I guess she must have had your drinks in Atlantis. He or she must have had your drinks in Atlantis.
Probably.
Okay, Marv, we getting it. We international, Marv. I love it. I mean, this is fantastic. So we're going to take a break right now, and then we'll come back and we'll ask Marv some more questions, more on the hospitality forefront and exactly what happened during the off season, because we were on a definite low in terms of COVID. And how did you maintain yourself? Because the hospitality industry touches everyone. There are over 1,000 jobs that are directly related to tourism. This is your host, Kendany Campbell-Moss, and you're listening to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
One thing there is no debate about is that BTC has the best rates. Now, the best rates just got better because you pay half the price of the other guys with your BTC home internet and mobile services combined. Switching to BTC is a no-brainer because I pay less with BTC and get super fast internet with speeds up to 600 megs. The other guys, their internet only go up to 105 megs.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile. Visit a BTC store to make the switch today. Conditions apply.
From our beginning on Bay Street in 1927, Kelly's House and Home is still going strong. Catch our anniversary sale Friday, April 1st through Wednesday, April 6th. Save 20% off on home decor, housewares, paint, linens, china and gifts, baby, toys, and stationery, except on net items. Come by Saturday, April 2nd, beginning at 7 a.m. and receive a token of our appreciation with purchase while supplies last. Shop online at kellysbahamas.com. Happy 95th anniversary, Kelly's House and Home. We're proud to be a part of your life.
Guardian Radio 96.9 celebrates 10 years as the country's first ever and only all-news talk radio station.
Guardian
96.9 FM.
Come, join Guardian Radio 96.9 in this wonderful celebration of 10 years on the air by placing your ad in the Nassau Guardian's special anniversary tabloid publication.
Guardian Radio 96.9.
We have fantastic anniversary rates just for this occasion. Imagine full, half, and quarter page ads in color or black and white at the lowest rates ever.
And you're listening to 96.9 Guardian Talk Radio.
And you can get 10 radio spots between April 11th and 15th for only $302. Prices include VAT. Call your account executive today at 302-2300. 302-2300 and get your ad in by Wednesday, April 6th. Come, celebrate with Guardian Radio 96.9. 10 years of fresh news, smart talk, all day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
J.S. Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Oh, yes, he did. He created lots of loving for a man. When you talk about Bahamian songs and you listen to the rhythm and it walks you through a completely different time and space, I want to say that there's something very, very melodious about Rake and Scrape, and it gives you that down-home feeling, much like a sweet cocktail would. I think that we have a caller on the line, Arlington. I took too long? Okay, my caller has left me. We do have some texts coming in. I'm reminded of a song by Harry Belafonte when you think about the islands of the Bahamas. And a portion of the song goes, "This is my island in the sun, where my people have toiled since time begun. I may sail on many a sea, her shores will always be home to me. Oh, my island in the sun, willed to me by my father's hands." Now, I also remember that my grandma used to say to me, if you teach a man how to fish, he'll eat forever, but if you give him a fish, he'll eat for that day. Marv, when it comes up to mixology and when it comes up to creating a flavor and an essence, literally a party in your mouth if you would have it, when you go to these festivals, what do you say that makes you want to actually entertain a festival or going to a festival and saying, I want to set up camp here, I'm going to make a drink? Is it cost effective for you? What types of things run through your mind in terms of being an entrepreneur, in terms of being an executive, 2-time winning gold medalist, a master mixologist? What goes through your mind?
Well, the first thing that goes through my mind is, definitely, satisfying the palates of those that are attending these festivals. At my, particularly when I have a booth, there's nothing that's in my booth that you will find anywhere else. That's what makes Mr. Mix Bahamas so unique, in my offering. Sometimes I have up to 20 cocktails. And, many persons in the industry be like, boy, that's a big menu, that's too big. How cost effective is that? And it all goes back to training and knowing exactly what you're doing. It's all about measurements. So I can give you 3 or 4 ingredients that may be inside, your mocktail at the moment. But if you don't measure them correctly, you're not going to get the same outcome as if I made it. So it's very cost effective when you know what you're doing.
Marv, I want you to tell me about how or what went into your first gold medalist and your Hall of Fame. I know that it was a conch, something that you did with conch?
Yeah.
Was it dried conch or was it fresh conch?
It was a conch cocktail. Yeah, it was a conch cocktail.
What was that? What was that like?
Okay, I'm trying to remember the name. What was it? Oh, got so much things going on. What was it? Essence, was it Essence? I think it was Essence of the Sea. Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah, Essence of the Sea was a conch cocktail, and that essentially was a deconstructed conch salad, right? Yeah.
As a drink?
Yeah. So okay, so I took all the main ingredients that would go into a conch salad, and I turned it into a tincture, a bitter, a clarified juice, an infusion. Those are the things that took place when creating that cocktail. I woke up. Let me tell you.
I was about to ask you, Marv, do you sleep and wake up with these things?
I'm just about to tell you about this one. This one was, I spent about 2 days trying to bring this cocktail together.
Right.
I presented the cocktail initially to the culinary team, and shout outs to the 2014, 15, and 16 Bahamas National Culinary Team, which I happen to be a part of.
Winners,
of course.
Winners.
They're the first team to bring a gold medal to the Bahamas. Yeah, in culinary. Sorry. So, I spent 2 days working on this concept, and I presented the team, and they were like, "But Marv, we know that this is okay, but this is not mind blowing." And that hurt because I thought I had put my best into this cocktail, and then I went to sleep. I prayed about it, and I was like, "Listen, boy, I need this. I need some type of inspiration to how I can make this cocktail better." And I pitched up out of my bed at 2:30 in the morning.
Marv, you live in your bed alone?
No, I'm going to tell you right now. My wife looked at me like, "What happened?" and the first thing that came into my, I was like, "I got it.
You got it.
I got it." So I got up at 2:30, went straight into the kitchen. I didn't get done with the cocktail until about 7 a.m.
Okay.
And it was perfect. It was award-winning perfect.
Marv, why don't we have more festivals, or why don't we have more competitions that are based directly around a drink? When I say that, I say that to mean tourism is our nation's number one industry. It accounts for over 1,000 jobs. Our GDP, 90% of it is derived from tourism, whether that be the family of islands or whether that be New Providence proper. You have cruise ship stopover, you have arrivals. Do you think that if we had a festival that was based solely around a tamarind drink or something that was indigenous to the islands of the Bahamas, do you think that that would draw a universal crowd?
Of course it would. It would definitely draw more people to the islands. I tell you, there are a lot of, in traveling around the globe, there's so many festivals around the world, and there are competitions built into these festivals where, culinarians and bartenders, mixologists have the opportunity to showcase, these indigenous ingredients of their countries and, incorporating them into dishes, into cocktails, mocktails. It's definitely something that I see the benefit in it. It's just I don't know. We would have to definitely, put a proposal together and get the powers to be. We'd have to sell them on it.
But how do you get them to buy into your ideology of let us have a specific niche market for mocktails, for mixology? Because every other island has it.
I think seeing is believing. It would take the powers that be. They would have to go and visit these markets. They would have to go and see what's going on. Because, the Bahamian saying, mouth could say anything. Seeing is believing, though.
So when you go to other countries and you see that they have such a large mixology following, or that their portion of what has to happen in terms of mixology and bringing different flavors to life, when you get there and you say, we have far greater taste and smells and essences than these people do, when you get there and you completely blow their minds and you walk away with a gold medal off of just absolutely ingenious from your head, what does that say to you? Because these people don't have the same thing that you have.
Right, so I'll tell you what happens, right? Okay, so small opportunities create big opportunities.
Right.
So I've been to many of these festivals and competitions around the world, and when I win, as soon as I walk off stage, I have persons from different, tourism boards, hospitality institutes. They're like, hey, you must come and you must come and visit our islands or, our country. You can probably come and do, a workshop, a training session, and those things have materialized because of that small opportunity, because of that small effort that I put into, competing. Competing is not as stressful as a lot of people may think.
Right.
There's a lot of fear attached to it. Because
Right.
I'm telling you that many times that I would walk into competitions confident that I will do well. For me, it was always top three. I would, that's the mindset you need. You're not going to win all the time.
Right.
Fortunately for me, in most instances, I have won.
Right. And I was about to say, but Marv, that's not really your situation.
No, it's not. But see, you really have to, you set yourself up.
You stay humble.
You stay humble, and then, you don't want to, because if you go into a competition thinking you're going to win and they give you second or third, you're going to be crushed. So it's always top three. As long as you top three, because tasting is subjective. You don't know what the judges feel like on the morning of.
Right.
You don't know if the judges prefer gin over vodka or they prefer rum over bourbon or whiskey. So
Marv, I want to ask you something. During the off season, when of course COVID was absolutely rampant, what did you do? Did you create anything in that particular space and time that you had that said, listen, this is something that when the market opens, I'm going to blow everyone's minds with this particular drink? Do we have a caller here, Arlington? Go ahead, Arlington. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the line. Hello.
Hey, good afternoon, IQ Kenny.
Hi, good afternoon.
You're doing a wonderful job, man. You sound like a professional on the topic of mixology.
Listen, my mother and father sent me to school,
Oh, look, hey, well, boy, listen, I got to tell Donna, her child did well in school. She
Amen.
Somebody.
No, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, but what I call to ask, Marv, listening in, especially to this Kong salad drink he just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
ask him if he trade. I don't know if he can, but does he trademark his products? Because I'm saying that's something that is strictly unique, and so I want to know if he actually trademarked these stuff when he do it. So, if somebody else in another country wants to use it, he can get his royalties. I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you so much for calling.
So I have not trademarked, but I did look into it, and the advice given to me by that very expensive lawyer that I went to sit down with, he's like, listen, it's like this. And at that time, I never sought to look into it again, but that's maybe something that I can do.
Marv, you need to.
But he said to me, he's like, listen, you can trademark this all you want. If somebody comes and decides to call it something else and then take out an ingredient here and put another ingredient, there's nothing that you can do.
Really?
Yeah. So.
But Marv, when you came up with the conch drink idea, what I mean,
see, because
how?
It's the Bahamas. It's what we are known for. Like you have a taxi driver that picks up some guests and they're on their way to to these mega resorts and they're like, you know what, you gotta visit the fish fry. You gotta have a conch salad. You gotta have conch fritters. You gotta have a sky juice. So in that moment at that competition, they were like, listen, that one of the criteria of that competition was we want to see you represent your island or the best interpretation of your island through beverage. It was a combination of both worlds for me. And people sit down and be like, conch as a drink. They still try to fathom it today. But let me tell you something. The best part about a conch salad is the juice in it.
My daughter says the same thing because she'll suck on the conch for a little bit, but the best part of the conch salad is the juice.
Right.
And if the tomatoes ain't right, it make the conch salad funny.
And this is what I'm saying. Agreed. And here's the thing. So it was taken through a process, right? It was taken through a process where I clarified ingredients. So what that means is you're not looking at conch salad juice in a glass. No, this cocktail was perfectly clarified, full of flavor. You had the onions, the sweet pepper, the goat pepper, the tomato. You had the conch in there. So and it was served with a nice pickled onion, in a chilled cocktail coupe. And the judges were wow. They were like, we've never seen this. I take pride in saying this. I inspired other bartenders from Caribbean nations to look into, because the following year they made me a judge.
This question asks, why isn't Marv on the Food Network? And when Marv goes on the his name is Marv. When Marv goes on the Food Network, I want you to say welcome to the islands of the Bahamas. Boy.
Well, there are some things in the making.
Good.
There are definitely some things in the making. And when I get there, I'll be sure to say it.
Listen, just send me, just let me know what you need me to say. And I got you. Welcome to the islands of the Bahamas. I got you, Marv. Do we have a caller on the line, Arlington? Good afternoon, caller. You are on the line.
Holiday along with you on Mark KC.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Bremen here.
Hi, Bremen.
Colin Ferguson. What I want to say, right, to Mark?
Yes,
Mark,
sir. Yes, sir.
Don't give up, right?
Yes, sir.
Get a different lawyer, right? And what to do, right? Your product. You don't give the world. When you sell it with all the ingredients, right?
Yes, sir.
But you don't give the world all of the ingredients that if somebody copy it, they wouldn't get everything. It never would taste like yours.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Bremen.
so much.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
We can see you on Bay Street, Bremen?
I'll think of it.
All right. We miss you. We getting back. So Independence, I'm looking for you, okay?
But no practice. Nobody practicing.
No practices yet, but I'm sure they're going to call practice shortly. But let me see you, Bremen.
Okay.
All right. Have a good week.
You're the same.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
All righty. Arlington, do we have another caller on the line? Okay, let me get through some of these texts. Besides his drinks being delicious, Marv is a great guy. I can't read the rest of this text, Marv, because you are a married man. These texts, my texts is get out of hand. Let me tell Miss Campbell, his name is Marv. Tell Mark that you cannot search for featured snippets from the drinks. Although you cannot trademark the drink itself, you can trademark the name, slogan, or logo and use it to brand the drink. Now, Taxter, I'm not sure if you heard us when we initially began, but Marv is also in Walmart and Publix. So Marv has his own drink in Marv is into Marv, tell us about Blue Curacao. Am I saying it properly?
Yeah, Blue Curacao.
Okay, thank you. Tell us about that, Marv.
Yeah, so I have a Blue Curacao that's being sold in Walmart currently and Publix. You can also get it online. For you.
E-commerce? You e-commerce into?
This thing go.
I mean, this is orange economy at its absolute finest.
Yeah, and like I said, it just started off with an idea, and I just capitalized on it.
Right.
And when you purchase, a bottle of the Blue Curacao, when you look at it, it has a story. It has a story about it. It has a story about the Bahamas, and the name of the featured cocktail on the bottle of the cocktail artist Blue Curacao, it's called Bahama Rock. And
yeah,
it's called Bahama Rock.
Right.
So there's a recipe there, and there's so many things that I'm working on.
Yes.
And the pandemic definitely gave me that opportunity.
I think we have a caller, Arlington. Are we ready? Good afternoon, caller. You are on the line.
Good afternoon, dear lady. How you doing today?
I am very well, thank you.
And good evening or afternoon, Marv.
Yes.
I think I got your name. Everybody calling you Marv.
They calling him Mark Strong.
Hey, well, as long as you, like to say, you don't call me any other name, as long as you don't call me too late, eh?
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what I'm calling about today, first of all, I want to encourage you in your endeavors and to keep up the good work. And I didn't catch all of the show, but enough to understand that you are a Bahamian who are doing some good things.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
I cannot reveal why I'm really calling today, but there is an initiative afoot now that's going to be really promoting all things Bahamian.
Okay.
Truly, genuinely, sincerely, without apology.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you why because I'd like to get your phone contact, which is really why I called, but let me tell you all why I just emphasize without apology. I was out at a food store this past Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And when I walked outside, all I heard was reggae. And it vexed my soul so much. I had to scream and said, enough of this, man. We want Bahamian music.
Right.
I, as a Bahamian who was almost 59 years of age, I want my country back. I want to see my Bahamian people and my Bahamian things back in the Bahamas as we ought always to have had it kept. So I'd like to work along with you and to help you in any way I can, Marv, to be able to help that to happen. I am not an attorney, so I don't lay claim to that. But I would say this March, and I get this from listening to a documentary on Coca-Cola recently, but your product, your ingredients, if they are unique to your drinks and your beverages, they can be protected by some form of copyright, can they not? Because the ingredients in Coca-Cola and Pepsi and all of those are protected.
Okay.
Those are patented.
Okay, patent.
That's what I'm getting at.
Okay, good.
Patented. So I think you could take out a patent if your ideas are all unique, and whichever they may be, endeavor to get them patented. So that if anybody does infringe upon your ingredients, they can be sued anywhere on this planet once your ideas are patented.
I'll definitely look into that.
Right, please do.
I'll leave the number with the producer.
Yeah, so the producer, and I'll call back in, and I'm JT, by the way.
All right, nice to meet you, JT. Thank
Sure,
you for your
you too,
insight,
buddy.
man. Okay.
So I'll call back in and get your number from the producer.
Please do. Okay.
All right, man. God bless.
All right, sir.
Thank you. Do we need to go to a break, Arlington? Okay, we are going to take a break. The news is coming your way at 1 p.m. This has been Kendany Campbell-Moss. You're listening to Guardian Radio 96.9. Fresh news, smart talk all day. We will be back with master mixologist, Mr. Marv Cunningham.
You do coffee your way. Double shot decaf, cappuccino.
Light roast, Colombian, no milk.
You do vacations your way.
Hiking boots, tent, mountains.
5-star hotels and theater.
And now you can do insurance your way. Online.
Email.
Chat.
WhatsApp.
Or in branch. For home, car, travel, boat, or business insurance, do it anyway with NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Visit NUAinsurance.com, call, or stop by a branch today.
I
used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment, plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
At Ron's Electric Motors, they repair and rewind all major brands of electric motors, including water pumps, generators, and the generator's back end, welding machines, electric lifts, air compressors, battery chargers, and more. They're equipped to handle up to 850 kilowatts and rewind up to 450 horsepower motors. They're conveniently located on the corner of Wolf and Clarence Roads and are open weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays till noon. They offer 24 hours emergency assistance. You can reach them at 242-356-0249.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Stand by your family. That's not the snowman my misery. Without you, my life is so hard. Night and day I'm sad. Sad from money, but I miss you to buy. Sandra, where are you tonight? I wonder. Sandra, absence made my heart go small. Sandra, oh, don't leave me no longer to suffer. Nobody to hold me tight, nobody to treat me right. Me alone and one weekend all night. All day tossing to and fro, how can my pillow? Sandra, darling, why did you have to go? Sandra, where are you tonight? I wonder. Sandra, absence make my heart go small. Sandra, oh, don't leave me no longer to suffer. Since you leave me, I ain't either thing. When you got this all about east, west, north, and south, but only your medicine can straighten me out. Sandra, where are you tonight? I wonder, Sandra. Absence make my heart go small, Sandra. Oh, don't leave me no longer to suffer. Don't take your sister's advice. Come back, let me treat you right. If I hurt you, I apologize. Let us make another start. Never want to part. Sandra, you will always be in my heart. Sandra, where are you tonight? I wonder. Sandra, absence make my heart go small. Sandra, oh, don't leave me no longer to suffer.
That was Sandra. Where are you tonight? I wonder. From Swain and the Citations. When you hear the and the little, the little joke in the little book, it make you want to think about sausage there and the lick and stick it. You remember we was small and used to play ring play in the yard and shoot marbles in the dirt. Like those are real Bahamian things. That's like the people to people experience. It gives you an opportunity to see exactly what life is like on family islands like Exuma and Cat Island and Eleuthera. These different niche markets that we have available to us, we must take advantage of them. Tourism is everybody's business. And like I've said on so many different occasions, if it weren't for tourism, the goose that literally lays the golden egg, what else would we do? Hospitality is our main industry. And a lot of times we get service and servitude completely mixed up. And it isn't for the lack of trying or educating the masses, but we have to know what our product is. And in knowing our product, we have to be able to easily translate that into sight, see, taste, feeling, essence. Now, for my listening audience, you know that I'm a Junkanoo woman at heart, and I have one particular group, and that's my group. But if you see other groups line up on Bay Street, and if the music right, don't look for me. Don't look for me. We had a Royal Rush on Friday, and it was an amalgamation of all of the groups. Of course, the Saxon superstars were, of course, there. And we had the most beautiful dancers. We had a cadre of musicians. And the music and the melodies and the sights and everything you saw just brought it to life. And even the royal couple said, this is truly what the Bahamas is. It's an amalgamation of sight, see, touch, taste. It's more than just sun, sand, and sea. It's when you walk through the airport and you hear, welcome to the islands of the Bahamas. When you visit Exuma and Eleuthera and Cat Island and our many keys, there are 700 islands and keys that we must be able to take advantage of. And this afternoon, again, we have master mixologist, Mr. Marv Cunningham. Marv has been to the length and breadth of the entire universe, representing the Bahamas and doing a mammoth job and making us very proud. He's a 2-time gold winner. Marv, you've recently had an experience in New York. I want you to tell our people about what that experience has been like. Often we see artisans that use their hands, but you use your hands, you use your mind, you think about what it is that you're creating. There's a specific text that reads, great show as usual, nothing worse than the hey man and the the strong vendors and the garbage that they sell. Also, I can't fathom a conch salad as a drink, but this Marv guy sure sounds like he knows what he's doing, and I can drink anything from him. Just the way he speaks makes me want to have one of his drinks. Marv, this person has never even had your drink, but the way you speak entices them to actually want to do this. And I feel as if, though, as a Bahamian, as a raw-born Bahamian, Ma from Milton Street, Pa from Ross Corner, I think it's the indigenousness of what actually you bring to the table. And it's the excitement, what you speak about, because if you have a job, it's just a job. But it's the excitement of what you bring to the table, Mark. Tell me about this New York experience. Then we can get back to these texts. And ladies, Marv is married. Please stop sending these texts. Marv is married. Marv is married.
Yes.
For y'all that see Marv on the camera, Marv is married. Marv, where's your ring?
Right here.
You can't see that's
right
not
here.
a regular ring. Marv is married. Married. Go ahead, Marv.
Yeah, well, yes, I'm very, very much married. I'd like to send a shout out to my beautiful wife, Kenya Cunningham, who's tuning in. Also,
your wife almost named like me. I like that.
Yeah, KC.
Yes.
Yeah, and shout outs to my two beautiful daughters, Makaya, Kaden, my lovely mom. And while we're speaking about family, let me just say that family is very important. You know, if you don't have that support, I'm telling you, you won't get very far. You know, my siblings, my mom, Vernie Snowball, my siblings, Michael,
Aunt Vernie.
Godfrey, yeah, you know, my sister, Belinda, Pinky, you know, my brothers, Mark and Godfrey, you know, because
Mark, wasn't your daddy the man that does the fireworks?
yes, he was a pyrotechnic. Yeah, pyrotechnician, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know, so shout out to, you know, my circle, my support team. They in my ears every day, encouraging me to, you know, go, you know, shoot for the stars, continue to shoot for the stars and exceed what I did yesterday. Because there's not one day that goes by that I don't get input from them. Because I'm constantly working. This is an evolving industry. You know, we talk about hospitality day in and day out. You know, to me, hospitality means, you know, extending a welcome to travelers, you know, and even offering them a home away from home experience. And in beverage, that's creating an unforgettable drinking experience, or, you know, making the best cocktail they've ever had with the use of an indigenous ingredient, you know, just totally transforming the dynamics of the cocktail. And that is what people want. People want that experience. I mean, I made a cocktail called the Pink Pearl Manhattan. The Manhattan.
What is that?
So the Manhattan is a spirit-forward cocktail. You know, with
A spirit?
Spirit forward. So spirit forward means cocktails that only have spirits, only has alcohol in it, no juice, nothing to water it down.
Okay.
So I made a Bahamian version of that, and I call it the Pink Pearl Manhattan. Instead of using regular ice, I got some coconut water and I froze it. So I made a big coconut water sphere, and I did an infusion, a pineapple infusion with some rum that was clarified. It was aged rum, and I was able to clarify it, infuse it with some pineapple. You know, I made my own orange vermouth, flavored vermouth. So it's things like that, you know, when people talk about, give me something that I'm used to, you know, but give me it with a twist, you know. But hospitality, like I said, it's an umbrella industry. It's very broad. It's made up of, you know, multiple sectors, you know, hotel accommodation, travel, food and beverage, leisure, transport, and entertainment. These things, tourism is the body that governs hospitality.
It is.
You know, and I think we have an excellent tourism product. And I think it's not business as usual anymore.
It surely is not.
If it's one thing that the pandemic has, you know, taught us is that, because there was a while, for months, no U.S. currency was coming into this country, and everybody felt the pinch. Everybody felt the pinch. So now that things are now opening up, I would encourage every Bahamian that's in hospitality or, you know, it's a hotel worker. Listen to me. Take this opportunity to sharpen your skills.
Because the customer service has to be brought up to a different level, Marv.
It has to be.
Because I'm coming to these local restaurants, and if the local restaurants don't have the tourism dollars, we are the persons that end up taking the brunt of it. It has the customer service level in New Providence and the Family Islands is absolutely subpar. Do we have a caller on the line, Arlington? Caller, you are on the line. Good afternoon. Okay, Arlington, I can't hear the person. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the line.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Okay, we couldn't get that call. I have some texts to read for you, Marv. Great show as usual. How could we infuse Junkanoo in a clothing line and make it popular for kids? How can we get Junkanoo included in education and school and make it popular for everyone? That is a very good question. This is another one. And also ask your guest if he ever infused, Marv, ask your guest if he ever infused marijuana in a mango cocktail.
It has been. I've done it before. I actually have made overseas, in places where marijuana is legal, and my services have been solicited. I've went to many private functions where I've made cocktails with marijuana.
But Marv, people are readily they're not afraid of the whole marijuana conversation. They're ready for this.
Listen, this conversation has been happening.
Yes.
It's been happening. It's just only a matter of time now before, the powers that be, before they, relax. They heard the COVID restrictions are now being relaxed. Hopefully.
Because Marv, when you look at the medicinal purposes of it, right? Like I don't know how the weeds work, right? But if you are going to be included in this marijuana conversation, look at Jamaica, for instance. Jamaica was at a deficit. They introduced cannabis and they are at an all-time high. They have excess economy. They have a way to finance different sporting events in their country. And I think if we looked at it in terms of a niche market, we constantly say that we're a Christian nation, but you always do all kind of things, right? So why not have a medicinal facility? Have it in Cat Island, have it in Exuma, have it in San Salvador, have it in Ragged Island, for Christ's sake. And you say, listen, medicinal purposes only. You come here, you get your marijuana, you use it as whether it's for relaxation, whether it's a back ailment, whether it's a head injury, whatever it needs to happen. But that is a market that we have not tapped into.
And it's something that we need to tap into.
I mean, we all had the conversation last year about who having the rights to the plant out west and all this other stuff, right? And I think if we were to put egos aside and we were to work for a commonality for our nationalism, so to speak, it wouldn't be such a taboo conversation. Because whether you believe it or not, people using weed. And if you're putting it into a drink, like this texter asks about a drink, people using it in brownies and Johnny cake, and they eating it, they smoking it. So we might as well get with it. In New Jersey, there's this particular place that assists with children that have learning disabilities, and they use the medicinal marijuana to help the children with ADHD. So this is something that we could possibly take advantage of if only we would let go of the stigma of it. But that's an industry within tourism.
It is.
I hope we get to a point where we are more educated than just saying, oh, this is bad. And we have a reason why we think that it's bad. But
when you abuse anything, and I always encourage persons, me being a mixologist, we have a responsibility. And this is something that I think a lot of persons in the industry a lot of people think it's cute to, get customers drunk. We have a responsibility to ensure that persons, are not, overly intoxicated. Most persons would, continue to sell a person alcohol, in hopes that, their gratuity increases or they're expecting that big tip. Because abroad, that's a no-no. Because bartenders are held liable.
right, because if their guests leave and something happens. Yes.
Yeah, you could face jail time for that, especially if something resulting in like an accident or death. Like that's on the bartender. And I think that's something that we gotta we have to regulate here and ensure that all bartenders are doing their due diligence and making sure that patrons are not getting hammered to the point where you leave the bar, you slip down inside the lobby, and then you injure yourself.
Marv, we have some guests that are out in the lobby waiting for you. They want to find out if you're going to work. What do you have in your trunk? Marv is going to work, ladies and gentlemen, after this show. Marv, where you find these people from? Marv, I want you to tell me what your experience has been like being an ambassador for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas? Is it a mammoth task that you carry on your shoulders daily, or because it comes naturally to you, it's just like an everyday situation?
Well, it's definitely an easy task. It's very easy. And I'll say this again. I don't want it to sound cliche, but if you love what you do, it comes easy. But that's the absolute truth. As long as you put the time and effort and you love what you do, it comes easy. So, I mean, most recently, I went to New York. Shout out to the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism. I went to the Travel and Adventure Show. And yes, and not only did myself and the New York team, not only did we speak to them about the islands of the Bahamas and what the Bahamas has to offer, but we also gave them a taste of the Bahamas. And I did that through, of course, you have to go when you leave the island. You gotta let everybody know what sky juice is, right?
Right.
You gotta let everybody know what sky juice is. So I made a sky juice, and then I also made a spiced guava switcher. And it was, listen, those people were receptive. They loved the cocktail. I mean, the line was wrapped around. That event had over 13,000 people. And I served about 4,000 plus samples. And
well, Marv, if we can take guava switcher to somebody else's island or somebody else's country, why can't we do that right here? When we have the Junkanoo Summer Festivals, or when we have international wine and food festivals that you are definitely a part of. I've seen you there on many occasions because I would have, had the opportunity to work alongside these people. There is a niche market for mixology, because I'm going to preface this by saying, my loftier goal is to become the Director General of the Ministry of Tourism. That will happen. I'm speaking that into fruition. So when I become the DG, right, I'm going to make sure that you have a specific office so that we can get this tourism mechanism going, because there needs to be a mixology entity. You have Bacardi, you have Kalik, you have Heineken, you have all of these large distributors, these large brands that are here in New Providence. But are we taking advantage of them, Marv?
Well, okay, I will say this to you. CBL has taken the initiative with one of their programs called Bartistry. So Bartistry. So kudos to Commonwealth Brewery Limited for that initiative. So there's a competition called Bahamas Bartistry.
Right.
And they go around. It's a competition. It's a mixology competition where, they have bartenders from all around the island enter, compete, and they are crowned at the end of the day. But it's, I really take my hat off to them, for that initiative. I mean, I think competitions are the gateway to entrepreneurialism. And that's what happened in my case, because, not only am I, this, fierce competitor, I'm also a beverage consultant as well. So
and that opened doors for you, because
Yes.
that's also your side thing.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So small opportunities bring big opportunities.
Of course. Marv, there's some text here for you. Good afternoon, ma'am. How can Marv be contacted? I will send this message to you, Marv, so that you can speak to this person. This is another text. Ask your guest if he uses the white big guava or the regular guava, because all two have a distinct taste.
Right. So I use them both. It all depends on what I can get my hand on. But the white ones, I prefer the small pink ones. The flavors of the small pink one, they're intense. The big white ones, in a situation where I have to make a cocktail with the white guavas, I always look for a secondary flavor to pair that with. So it can be guava mint, guava rosemary, guava coconut. Those are the ones that I infuse. But the pink guavas is a straight out guava cocktail.
Marv, can you please tell me if you've ever used goat pepper in a drink, and what was the outcome?
Man, listen, I always tell people, listen, goat pepper. You know why they call it goat pepper, Candanique?
No.
Because it's the greatest of all time pepper.
Really?
GOAT.
Goat.
Yeah,
Like
greatest.
how my group is like the goat of
Yeah, I see you go play it home. I got you. Yeah, the flavor of goat pepper is in the flesh. The heat comes from the seeds. So, you gotta, when working with gold pepper, you have to be very, very careful. If you want a little zing, you could add a few seeds in there. And the outcome has always been perfect because there was the Angostura Global Cocktail Challenge. I won the competition with a lemongrass, tamarind, and gold pepper cocktail. It was the Amaro cocktail, and the gold pepper came in at the back.
It hit you from
Right, so you got it back. So it was the aftertaste. It was in because if you go in any beverage or drinking, the first thing at the onset you taste pepper. You don't want it no more.
No, I don't want it anymore.
So exactly. So whenever I designed a cocktail with gold pepper, it's all like you just want that aftertaste. You don't want that on your tongue because you want to You don't want to always drink it.
Right.
It's almost taboo. Like, but you're like, yeah, that's a nice little sting. Let me have another sip.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Marv, Arlington, do we have a caller on the line? Good afternoon, caller. You are on the line.
Good afternoon. I missed the first portion of your show. So he said what, drinks and stuff?
He is a master mixologist, and he has traveled throughout the length and breadth of the universe to make sure that the islands of the Bahamas are premiered in terms of mixology. He has used count in drinks. He has used goat pepper. He has used a medley of indigenous ingredients in order to make sure that the Bahamas is seen as a premier destination in terms of mixology. He is also a two-time gold award winning mixologist.
Okay, and one thing I like to say, a lot of folks around here, they mix their drinks and stuff, but they put white sugar, and a lot of people are trying to get off white sugar. There's alternatives, but there is goat pepper. There is coconut palm sugar. There's monk fruit or agave. Because me personally, I don't use sugar at all, white sugar, and not even, so sometimes when people even making smoothies, they put in sweetener. With all the fruit in it, you don't need sugar in your smoothies and stuff like that, or a base sweetener. So I don't know if you ever heard, but the monk fruit or the coconut palm sugar or the agave, I don't know if he do those type of stuff in his drink.
Marv, you want to answer the caller?
So I'll be honest with you. A lot of the times when I have special requests, persons that prefer not to have any sweetener, because a lot of the fruits that I use have sugar in them already. So there's not a need in most instances to always put white sugar or a simple syrup into your cocktail. But I do understand, when you look at tequila-based cocktail, a lot of people are using agave in tequila-based cocktails.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not talking about in general our Bahamian who make all the sour stuff drink and stuff like that. I mean, in one sense, like I said, your fruits and stuff really help. So you don't have to put a base of sweetener in it because the fruit have its sugar of its own.
Right, the fruits have natural sugar, so you don't always have to put a simple syrup, like I said, or the white sugar inside your cocktail.
Yeah.
Tasting is subjective. We do live in a country where a lot of persons love sweet cocktails.
Yeah. But like I said, a lot of people now are trying to get healthy, and so they're trying to get off that white sugar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you so much, caller. Marv, we have some text here for you. Great show as usual. Ask your guest which he thinks tastes better, lemonade or limeade, because lemon and lime also have two different distinct tastes, and also I would also like to challenge him in a lemonade. Oh, this woman challenge in a lemonade. Marv, you have been challenged here on Guardian 96.9 Radio for lemonade competition.
Lemonade.
How we can do this, Marv?
Well, I don't know. We could set it up at some point when I have the time.
Okay, all right. Texter, I will get your information so we could make sure this competition happens.
Yeah, but be lemon and lime. Two both citrus fruits. Lemon is a little bit more subtle, softer than lime. That's a lot more pungent and tangy and zingy.
Have you ever seen this this group on Facebook, Bahamian Cooking? People they put out their recipes, they post their dishes.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And There are also persons that post their drink dishes, and for some reason, it's very, very catchy. People, I think during COVID, people look for something different to do, and they became chefs and mixologists all in their own right. But it's just a different type of niche market that we have to look into in terms of hospitality, because you have so much to offer, but is it really being captivated in the audience that we necessarily have? And so many outlets that we can get into. It's a wide open. Go ahead, Marv.
No, I think one thing Bahamians are definitely waiting on, because everyone is setting me up. Hey, do you have any word when there's going to be the next festival? You know, I haven't had a drink from you in so much years, and that is an opportunity that I took advantage of during COVID. So you know, a lot of my fan base, a lot of my customers, people who would frequent, my followers, they would hit me up and they'd be like, Marv, you know, I need a little something. So during lockdown, you know. And I had the opportunity to make some cocktails and capitalize on it.
So Marv, do you have like one kitchen or two? Because it sounds like you were in the kitchen a lot.
Yeah, so I have two. I have a lab, because I mean, you know, I have a lab that I work out of, and then, you know, I have my wife's kitchen, because listen, I ain't going there. I can't go in there. You know, in culinary they say, you know, you always clean as you go.
Yes.
But you know, like when you're timing things, for me, it's like, listen, I can deal with this. I can clean up after.
Right.
And I can't do that in my wife's kitchen.
Right, because it's going to be a problem.
It's going to be a problem. I'm
Okay.
not doing that.
At least, Marv, you are a very smart man. You're from Cat Island, eh?
Yes, ma'am.
I know it was something about you, Marv.
Wait, let me be careful now, because you have a lot of people say, but you ain't from Cat Island. I'm a descendant of Cat Island.
Okay, well, this is an Arthurstown Cat Island woman right here with you. Okay,
all
very,
right.
very good, Marv.
Orange Creek, shout out to the New Bulls.
Very good. Shout out to my Campbell people, okay? We're going to take a quick commercial break, but before we do that, we're going to have just some housekeeping notes here. Has it been 5 months since your second COVID-19 vaccine? Then don't forget your booster. Getting your COVID-19 vaccine and booster can prevent you from missing important job opportunities and special occasions abroad. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit vax.gov.bs to book an appointment, or simply walk into any of our locations. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be back. I'm here with Master Mixologist, Mr. Marv Cunningham. This is Kendany Campbell Moss, Guardian Radio 96.9.
One thing there is no debate about is that BTC has the best rates. Now, the best rates just got better because you pay half the price of the other guys with your BTC home internet and mobile services combined. Switching to BTC is a no-brainer because I pay less with BTC and get super fast internet with speeds up to 600 megs. The other guys, their internet only go up to 105 megs.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile. Visit a BTC store to make the switch today. Conditions apply.
Let Wendy's heat up your morning. Wake up with our new Hot Honey Chicken Biscuit that is forged in flavor and made fresh every morning just for you. Forged from a fusion of sweet honey and spicy heat. Wendy's new Hot Honey Chicken Biscuit is our breaded premium all-white chicken breast topped with habanero honey, served on a fresh-baked buttermilk biscuit. It offers the perfect balance of sweet heat. Better mornings always start at Wendy's.
Children are a blessing and should be treated with love and care. They deserve safe, stable, and nurturing relationships, a supportive family environment, and positive social networks. Mothers, fathers, teachers, aunties, uncles, neighbors, Bahamas. Let's do our part to stop the physical, sexual, and mental abuse of our children. Make the calls, file the reports, save precious lives. Let's join hands and hearts and say no more to child abuse. This message was brought to you by CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations.
You do coffee your way. Double shot decaf, cappuccino.
Light roast, Colombian, no milk.
You do vacations your way.
Hiking boots, tent, mountains.
5-star hotels and theater.
And now you can do insurance your way.
Online.
Email.
Chat.
WhatsApp.
Or in branch. For home, car, travel, boat, or business insurance, do it anyway with NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Visit NUAinsurance.com, call, or stop by a branch today.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
We know
know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
It's Philly cheesesteak time at Burger King Nassau. This classic sandwich isn't just a Philly cheesesteak, it's a Burger King Philly cheesesteak. Enjoy your sandwich with flame-grilled beef, plant-based, or try the crispy chicken version with all the Philly fixins, including lots of melted cheese, caramelized onions, bell peppers, and mushrooms on a sesame seed hoagie bun. Visit any of Burger King Nassau's 7 locations and enjoy your Philly cheesesteak as a combo or as part of the King's Feast at Burger King Nassau, where taste is king.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Say 1 + 1 is 11. They say we living in a dog world, but I tell them say all good dogs go to heaven. Sweat, blood and tears, toiling all day. Watch as you grow, friends and family drift away. Boy, don't you stop, continue to fight. Forgive them, peace and love, and everything will be alright. Say. They say who got often and honored, spare feet by the pump I used to water. Scrub or shelly piece, I come from the gutter. Hide and seek and catching fleas in the summer. Mama used to say, play with puppy, it lick your mouth. 30 pieces of silver, man, you know what they're talking about. Boy, don't you stop, continue to fight. Forgive them, peace and love, and everything will be alright. Say.
Listen, that was some good music. This gentleman that just was on the radio, he was in a competition that we had many years ago at the Ministry of Tourism. That song should have won. That had everything. That had the goat skin. That had the rhythm. And when he danced and he actually performed the song, and you saw him say, "Hey na na," and the rock and roll, like he made you feel the song.
Right.
Like that is what it means to be a Bahamian. Like you feel it, Marv. Like my mother's be like, Kenra, you going to this Junkanoo again? I was like, yeah, mommy, I going to the Junkanoo again. She'd say, you not on no costume Friday? I said, no, mommy, I did not have on a costume. but I was in the road. Canberra was in the road and it was raining. I said, yeah, mommy, because the music was sweet.
Right.
What you want me to do? I had to dance. She said, girl, something is wrong with you. I said, mommy, I like that. That's what I like. But I want to send a shout out this afternoon to some ladies that are always listening. And of course, this afternoon, they paid very special attention to listen to Mr. Marv Cunningham because these ladies are mixologists in their own right. So Higgins, Nicole, and Shanika, good afternoon to you from Guardian 96.9. Thank you for always listening in. Marv, this is a text, and the texter says, Miss, read what I send you. Read this to Marv. This is the text, Marv. Listen, Kendanique, Marv could mix a flipping drink. I only went to Sunset Bar when he was there. The absolute best. I could still taste that shot with the goat pepper he gave us, and it was delicious. And delicious is spelled in all caps. Marv, I don't know who that was. You give the pepper, goat skin, the goat pepper drink to. Mrs. Moss, please have Marv back on with someone else and let us be able to see you on camera so that we can have a competition. This is what we need more of. Conversation about things that really matter. I don't want to hear about Will and Jada for another 20 years. Oh, okay, not a problem. All right, this is another text. Good afternoon, Casey. Kudos to my creative and productive nephew, entrepreneur, and visionary student, C.R. Walker graduate. Marv was taught to not go after money, but rather ideas, because money flows to his great ideas. He is a thinker clothed in action. Uncle Howard. That's Howard Newbold from the Ministry of Education?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Howard Newbold from Ministry of Education. He called me Casey. I wonder if you remember I was one of his teachers at one point. I used to teach English language at L.W. Young.
Really?
Yes, I'm learned. I tell you, my man, past sent me to school.
Yeah.
I think that it's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you, Uncle.
Marv, you have fans from all over the world. Like that lady that texted in, I guess she was in Miami, and she texted about you and the fact that she was in a nightclub and she had drinks from you. It says on a magnitude level that you have definitely made your staple, and you've made a point to give people something that's premier, and you do it with the gift of a drink. And as simple as that may sound to some people, that may be something that someone remembers for the rest of their lives. They may not necessarily remember that they got a bag at the straw market or they had a bowl of conch salad, but they may remember the taste and the euphoria of what your mixology gave to them, like a dance party in your mouth, if you will.
Right.
And Marv, I want you to talk to me about hospitality now. What do you see that's different from years ago, prior to COVID? What do you see in the last 2.5 months that we can make a definite change on?
Customer service. Customer service definitely has to be taken, up another notch.
Mm-hmm.
I think, we ultimately we need to show why we are the preferred destination. All right. Customer service is very important, but I feel like a lot of businesses, a lot of persons in the industry, they don't empower their staff. I mean, look at it. I mean, mental health is a serious thing. I mean, when was the last time anybody stopped to check and see,
how are you doing?
How hospitality workers are doing. I mean, they've been out of work for, God knows, months, not receiving a paycheck. So, there was a headache, stress attached to that. And for them to, and I know that a lot of them are grateful now that, things start, businesses are opening up now and they're getting back to work, but a lot of them are still, feeling the effects of the pandemic.
Marv, your cousin Nadia has texted in. She has said, congratulations, Marv. You continue to make the family very, very proud. Thank you so much for that, Miss Nadia. And she sends lots and lots of kisses. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Nadia.
Thank you, Nadia.
Tell your guest I never got the Bloody Mary cocktail. Okay.
The Bloody Mary cocktail?
I don't know.
Oh. Well, I made a blue Bloody Mary. I don't know. What? Who was that?
No, I don't know what that means.
Okay.
This next text says, customer service in Nassau is people do as if they're doing you a favor by serving you, and I blame the gratuity added in the menu. Or I guess not the menu, but in the total cost for the check. Marv, do you find that when gratuity is compulsory, that people have a tendency not to work as hard?
Not everybody should be beaten with that stick.
Okay.
There are persons who actually earn their gratuity, and there are other persons who just feel because it's built in that they can do what they want to do. But this is where you have to get employees have to be held accountable. And if you do have a complaint, I mean, that's what management is for. Do you know that you can go and request that, gratuity be taken off of your check if you're not pleased with the service?
Right.
That, you can go and you can do that. But I don't think, and it was put in for a reason. It was put in for a reason because, there are some persons who will go out and who will not, who genuinely will not tip.
Arlington, I think we have a caller on the line.
And dial your operator.
Oh, took too long. Okay, so this is a text. Casey, he needs to say that again. I got a bad drink from a bartender and sent it back and the bartender sucked his teeth. I sent the same drink back. No apologies, no remorse. What is his advice for unsatisfied customers? And I think you would have just alluded to that.
Yeah, but I'll also tell you this, though. I mean, I had an experience in Eleuthera a few weeks ago. With a bartender, and I wasn't too pleased with the cocktail. And, I am not someone who should be feared. And a lot of people see me and they be like, well, he's, accomplished so much, but, that's, when I go to dine, I go to dine. When I go to have a mocktail, I go to have a mocktail, right? And, I had a really bad experience and, and the bartender flared up. And surprisingly, the bar owner flared up too. The bar owner flared up. This is the way we do it. We ain't changing it for nobody.
And that's that?
And that's that. So I was like, you know what? And so my advice is, hey, you will never get you won't get any, you won't get any future business from me. And anybody that I talk to, I definitely ain't sending them here. But,
And they don't think about that.
What I find the problem with most bartenders are when they create cocktails, they create it as if they're creating a cocktail for themselves. You're not here to create a cocktail for yourself. I mean, I hate to sound rude. Nobody cares what you like.
Right.
I'm paying for a cocktail. This is what I want. This is what I expect.
I agree. And you know something, Marv? Like, I'm not a drinker, right?
Mhm.
I mean, like, I like my little sweet stuff. But,
Mhm.
like, to say, like, have gin or have, like, a hard drink, I don't know if I'm ready for that.
But let me say this to you. There's something called low ABV cocktails, right?
Mhm.
So low ABV
You
means...
come in like a chemist. Like, talk to me in layman's terms. Like, talk to me slow.
Okay, low ABV, that's low alcohol by volume.
Okay.
So the standard cocktail has anywhere between 1.5 ounce of alcohol to 2 ounces, right?
So how much Pete Snaps of? Because I could kill a Pete Snaps. I could conquer that.
The alcohol on content from peach schnapps is very low. It's below 40%.
Oh, that's my thing, Marv. I like that.
Yeah, that's probably why. So the sweeter spirit, the less alcohol content it has.
Okay.
So you can have a low ABV content cocktail even with a base spirit like a vodka, gin, rum, tequila, whiskey, bourbon. You can have a cocktail with that. Instead of adding 1.5 ounce or 2 ounces, you can add a half of ounce. You can add a half ounce. That's what makes it low ABV because you're not going to get the full brunt of that alcohol taste. You'll have a little smidge.
Marv, make me something with a little smidge.
Okay.
Make me a little smidgy.
A little
I can
smidgy.
need that for Junkanoo time when I need to get smidgy.
Actually, I'd like a challenge. What is your favorite fruit? What is your favorite herb? What do you like?
I like ginger
Mm-hmm.
and I like guava.
Ginger and guava?
Yes.
That's a good combination right there.
Okay.
So I'll definitely do that. And
Okay.
I'll do it with gin too.
Oh, Marv, I'm ready. I think that we have a caller on the line. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the line. Hello. Okay, I took too long. I'm sorry. Marv, I have a text here for you. This is a shot at you, Marv. Kenny, tell Marv. I see why he didn't bring those drinks for the Saxons. In my spirit, I feel he's a valley. Marv, is that so? Marv, you want to say something?
I love all Junkanoo groups. I love all Junkanoo groups.
What's the number? Okay, Marv, somebody wants to big you up. Let me send them the number so that they can call to the show, 6232. All right. I have sent you the number, sir or madam, so that you may do just that. Marv, when it comes up to customer service and customer care, do you think that there could possibly be anything that we could do at this particular time? Because coming off the hiatus of COVID, do you think that there could be something that we do to escalate or some sort of shock and awe that we can get those persons in the hospitality industry to understand that without our consumers, which are our guests, we run the risk of not having tourism at all?
I think resort owners need to continuously, have those trainings. I think they need to be done just about every other week, in order to drive that message, home to hospitality workers. But let me also say this, right? If you don't have to wait for someone to empower you. All right. That's one of the things that I did. I didn't wait for anybody to come to me and say, this is the tools you need to succeed. Right. I went out there on my own and I got the tools I needed, and everything that I started out self-taught. There was no institute here for me to say, well, go and learn. There was no institute. And that's something that I'll definitely be bringing to the table in the near future. Okay. The first mixology academy in the country.
Marv, do you remember that you and I did a television stint for
Independence?
We did, didn't we?
Yeah.
And Marv, they bombarded us that day. They came through and they just took everything you had.
Mm-hmm.
People love your essence, though, Marv. I think it's you too.
Yeah, personality has a lot to do with it. But it's also the structure of a cocktail, okay?
It is.
The structure of a cocktail is spirit, sour, sweet, and bitters. If you have all these components in a cocktail, it's going to be enjoyable.
It's like a woman.
Yes. It has to be very balanced.
It has to be balanced. I think we have a caller on the line. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the line.
Good afternoon to you and to your guest.
Good afternoon.
Bob, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Gentlemen, we had a conversation the other evening of a PI.
Hey. Hey, what's happening? All is well?
Yes, I had to call in while you're on the show. I don't normally do this, but you deserve all the accolades that you get, man. One thing I can say, I'm very proud of what you're doing. You have passion for what you do, and you have pride in your work, whereas many of the days I listen to you talking about that experience in one of our islands, many of our bartenders, they don't have pride in their work, and many of the young guys now are being promoted to bartenders before even understanding the basics of being a bar back.
Understood.
They don't understand the principles of what it means to be a bartender, and as you mentioned just now, the principles in terms of how you put a cocktail together, the basic structure.
Right.
I think that's where we lack, and we want to be the pilot before we go to pilot school.
Right.
So keep doing what you're doing, my friend. Keep holding it down and keep doing it the right way.
Thank you.
Like I say, I watch you from halfway across the world. So keep doing what you're doing. Very extremely proud of you and what you're doing. And continue doing what you're doing, man.
I will do so. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No worries. Take care.
See, it's persons like that on a daily basis that continue to encourage me. I appreciate it. I really do.
Marv, I think that is absolutely phenomenal that you have so many persons that are always on your team. You bring something different to the essence of mixology. It is fantastic,
but
truly.
I'm also big on training, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm big on training, and the caller had alluded to, I think that's one of the faults in our industry. People tend to get, they come in at entry level, and then they are promoted without proper training.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the entire beverage industry kind of needs a revamp. I'm not saying that we are, all bad or, all is lost.
Mm-hmm.
But slowly but surely we will get to that.
We will. I think it's a huge task for us to take on. But I think if we had a reason to understand that hospitality is truly what we do and not get it confused with service and servitude, we would have a longer lasting approach. I think that if we would find the different niche markets in order to get our revenue flowing and forget this facade of being a Christian nation. If you want to do that, let's separate state and country. Do that on Sunday. But we need some money coming into this country. And we don't want to take for granted, of course, what it is that we have to offer, but our product, the sun, sand, and sea, our people, our indigenous people, the experiences that you can have in each and every island, because there's something different to be had in every island. It's extremely important. And tourism, of course, is everybody's business. And I want to thank you, Marv, for putting us out there on the map, for making sure that people know our name, and not just the Bahamas, but the islands of the Bahamas. Thank you to my listeners. And when you speak about the Bahamas and you hear people asking you to speak, I want you to be very mindful. We are in the islands of the Bahamas. So when you speak about us and you tell your friend, you tell your visitors, so that we have repeat visitors, and our stopovers are multiplied, and our air, sea, we are filled, there are heads and beds and butts and seats. And we remember that where you're going to go next year, where you're going to visit, come to the Bahamas. Marv, I'm going to give you the closing words. Thank you for listening. This has been Kendany Campbell on Guardian 96.9 FM. Marv, close us out with what you want to say.
Yeah, I'd like to encourage anybody, young or old, that, that's seeking a career, in the hospitality industry, to speak to persons in the industry, do some independent research on the Bahamian product, but don't overlook the potential opportunity, and opportunities that are abroad. You'll also work with many different personalities, and that's okay. Whether it's a positive or negative personality, there must always be a takeaway. Things you should do and things you should not do. There must always be a takeaway, and just remember to always be positive. And you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You just have to be creative.
This is a shout out to you. Big up to Marv, Trevor from CBL. This is another shout out to Marv. Marv, you make Kenny sound... what? Marv, you make Kenny sound good on the radio this afternoon. What in that studio to drink, Kenny? There's nothing in this studio to drink. Whatever Marv has brought is for me. Thank you very much, Marv. I appreciate you coming this afternoon. You have made us one bit more educated in terms of exactly what happens in terms of mixology. Thank you, Charlotte, for pointing out that we did not have all of his accolades down pat. You are the bomb, Charlotte. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for listening. I will see you on Thursday at 11 a.m. It's going to be a rather fascinating show. We would get the law information on exactly what has to happen when there's consensual and non-consensual sex. Tune in on Thursday, 11 o'clock. It's going to be interesting. Marv, thank you again.
Say 1 + 1 is 11.